Back in the 1930s, an Aboriginal activist was so moved by the plight of Jews under the murderous Nazi regime that he led a protest march to the German consulate in Melbourne. It was one of the first protests of its kind, and William Cooper also gathered a petition against such cruel persecution. Today in Jerusalem, he became the first Indigenous person to be honoured at the Yad Vashem Memorial. SBS reporter Luke Waters travelled with Mr Cooper's family to attend the ceremony.
For William Cooper's grandson Alfred Turner, the long journey from Mooroopna, Victoria to Israel was taxing but worthwhile. Mr Turner and 15 members of the Cooper family watched on as Foreign Minister Kevin Rudd unveiled the plaque honouring William Cooper's stand against the Nazis.
The family is very proud of this award in honour of grandfather, and yeah, we're really proud.
William Cooper was a fierce advocate for Indigenous rights, establishing the Australian Aborigines League and campaigning relentlessly for land rights, citizenship and parliamentary representation for his people. But that focus changed when he learned of Kristallnacht, or the Night of the Broken Glass. More than 100 Jews were killed, their homes destroyed and synagogues burned in Europe. William Cooper led a delegation to the steps of the German consulate in Melbourne, condemning the atrocities.
He just knew he had to do something. The whole world was silent. He's the only man. He's an Aboriginal man with no rights, but he just said, no, it's wrong, and I'm going to do something about it.
He understood and he acted.
And that action has been recognised with the creation of an academic chair endorsed by political, business and religious leaders from Israel and Australia.
The new academic chair will be based here at Yad Vashem, Jerusalem, the world's preeminent Holocaust museum. It'll be the first professorship to research the resistance measures taken out against the Nazis throughout the Holocaust.
But it has been overshadowed over the time by study of the perpetrators, and which is understandable, but we want to bring this topic back into the forefront of research.
As a boy, Alfred Turner lived with William Cooper on the banks of the Murray River. He remembers his grandfather as a quiet, humble man who'd struggle with the attention and accolades of the presentation.
He would be embarrassed knowing him. Yes, he didn't look for anything like this, and I think down deep he would appreciate it, but outwardly he'd be embarrassed.
But for his family there was no embarrassment, only pride. In Jerusalem, Luke Waters, World News Australia.
I'm especially pleased to have 11 of the Cooper, Russell, Ferguson descendants here with me, making the effort to travel to Israel and proudly be together with the members of the Israeli and Australian community.
I can think of no more fitting tribute than the planting of these trees in his memory. And I think we should celebrate not just his willingness to speak out against the fate of German Jews, but his vision for an Australia where the rights and standing of our Indigenous communities are properly respected and protected.
The only spreading water from the Murray River. Murray, she told me. It's particularly poignant that we are gathered here in the Martyrs Forest to honour the memory of William Cooper on this very special and poignant day as well. Uncle Boyd is doing the same. And it's absolutely astounding to imagine that, in fact, it's almost beyond comprehension to think that in 1938, an Aboriginal activist by the name of William Cooper, a couple of years before he died in 1941 at the age of 80, should have seen fit to organise a protest in front of the German consulate in Melbourne against the atrocities that were being perpetrated by the Nazis, and particularly against Kristallnacht. What drove a man like that? What gave him this sense of justice, this need to protest against man's humanity against man? Truly, William Cooper must have been a remarkable person, and it's reflected in the family members who've gathered here today to help us honour the memory of this man, this remarkable man.
The water and the soil come from the Murray River. It's from Yorta country. And the idea behind bringing that over today is to further cement the relationship between Yorta people and Israel that was started by my great-grandfather.